Jesus rode into Jerusalem because he was imbued with the power of God that reminded him it's all right and it's okay. You see, if you go to Zechariah 9 verse 10, you will see that the king that rides into Jerusalem on a donkey will take away the chariots and the war horses and will break the battle's bow. And it is this king that will proclaim peace to all the nations. So Jesus is confident as he makes this move, this definite, this bold, this purposeful, this planned move, that it's okay. That's what solitude will do for you. I want you to listen to this. Listen, Sharita and Rosalind, take it away. Take it away.
So I need to know. Yes, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Can I hurdle this storm? Yes, but only together. With love in no heart. The only way. Somehow things will work out. Just you wait and see.
Jesus knows it's gonna work out. With love in his heart, he rides the donkey. Come on.
Well, I need to know. Yes, it's okay.
Know that it's okay this morning.
Can I hurdle this storm? Yes, but only together. With love in all hearts. The only way. Somehow things will work out. Just you wait and see.
More than 2,000 years after Jesus rode into Jerusalem from the east, we find that the imperial royal Roman Empire has fallen, and the kingdom of God is still being proclaimed. You see, Jesus knew this. Jesus acted from this truth. So point number 2 says Jesus' actions on Sunday, Palm Sunday, were perceived then as a threat to the imperial rule of Rome. We know that. And in less than a week, Jesus' bold actions made him a target for Roman authorities. He was abandoned by his disciples and crucified for treason. You see, Jesus' vision of God's kingdom threatened the systemic oppression of the people every single day. The entire social order of Rome would have to be flipped in everyone's favor. Not just the temple authorities' failure, not just for Rome's benefit. See, when you talk about proclaiming the kingdom of God, you're talking about the kingdom of equals. And what that means is that all oppressive laws and unjust laws must be overturned. Those overtaxed must be paid back. Those falsely accused must be released. And those held captive must be set free. The Jewish temple authorities were familiar with Zechariah's prophecy, so they understood Jesus' statement, although he didn't utter a word to them. He demonstrated his message, and for that was deemed a troublemaker. I want to be like Congressman John Lewis, who said, it's all right to get in some good trouble. Jesus was stirring up some good trouble on Palm Sunday. His mission was to bring the good news of the kingdom of God to the oppressed. And the people stood with Jesus on that day. They honored what he represented, even as they sought freedom from Rome's oppressive domination system. They wanted relief. So Jesus' word to us today is to seek God's kingdom above all else. If liberation is to come, it must come because the systems of domination and oppression have fallen. And what Jesus knew was that these systems fail because there's no truth in them. In fact, they self-destruct. What systems of oppression are we constructing today? What systems of oppression are we maintaining today? What systems of oppression are we supporting today? Each of them will fall because they have no God substance in them. God's will for all is that we live healthy, happy, successful, victorious, and prosperous lives. Again, because the kingdom of God is a kingdom of equals. So during this week, let us meditate on this truth and spend time in solitude, contemplating the role God has called us to play in establishing peace, first within ourselves, then in our communities, in our nation, and in our world. And so we simply pray, O God of Jerusalem, God of peace, God of shalom, God of all creation. We surrender to your peace today. And we release now every system of oppression that we have participated in, that we now benefit from. We now release our energy from these systems and redirect them to our oneness with you. We know that you are the God of all. And so we give thanks in this moment that we are free. Free to simply be what you called us to be. And free to move as you direct us to move. And free to say what you told us to say. And free to show up in those areas and proclaim the freedom of God. Not for one, but for all. This is the spirit of Palm Sunday. This is how we triumphantly ride the lower nature represented by the donkey. We ride and master our donkey feelings, our lower nature feelings. And we allow the Christ in us to go forth in victory. For the kingdom of God is at hand. And so it is. Amen and amen.
For he is worthy. I will lay down my sword. The Prince of Peace is his name. King of the blood, the Lord is mighty, mighty. The Lord can conquer troubled soul. Jehovah, Jehovah,
when trouble blows. Jehovah sees, Jehovah knows, He is my peace. When sorrow meets, Jehovah sees, Jehovah hears.
He hears. Feel the presence of God upon the water, upon the water. is mighty, mighty. The Lord can calm the troubles. Jehovah, Jehovah.
When trouble blows,
Jehovah, Jehovah.
Jehovah sees,
Jehovah, Jehovah.
Jehovah knows, He is my peace. When sorrow blows, Jehovah sees, Jehovah hears. Like the breath I need to live, Jehovah takes, Jehovah gives. He is my peace.
Jehovah, Jehovah.
When trouble blows,
Jehovah, Jehovah.